contemplating and planning to do. And we want, this is very, very crucial and important for the Nigerian population to know. So if you permit me, I will give this. I will pray the Nigerian press to publish this so that everyone is aware when it happens, or whatever variations they will take, let it be clear that we notify the Nigerian people. There is a plot we have discovered through our intelligence and through our informant within the Nigerian, within the Cameroonian military. And the informant was really desperate giving us this information, that there is a plot to particularly target and assassinate Nigerian coast guards and border officers. And this will happen, these Cameroon military forces, special forces, will be dressed up like normal civilians to mimic Ambazonian forces. They will even kill women, men, children, civilians, those things that will outrage the international community. Along the borders, along the maritime borders, and along the land borders, from Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, and Taraba. They will kill these people. Their intention, they will dress them in Ambazonian civilian attire, and they will even carry some of our emblems. They will carry flags and make proclamations on a video claiming that they are Ambazonians and they want to deal with Nigeria as some form of retaliation. The idea is to take that footage, take it to the Nigerian leadership and persuade them to declare us as terrorists. Because they are desperate to have the world declare us as terrorists. People who are fighting for a legitimate struggle because of what has happened to us. So we are cautioning the Nigerian government, local authorities, and the Nigerians as a whole to be on the alert. Because we know these people. They are cold-blooded murderers. They are serial killers. They have killed 30,000 plus of our civilians since this conflict started in 2017. So they are trying to pull Nigeria into this senseless war, a very senseless war against us. And they want to also tag our refugees in Nigeria as terrorists, as a potential threat to the Nigerian society, so that they will be forced out of their refuge to go back and die, because they don't want to see anyone survive. This is an extermination project. So they are trying to use this to create this, kill these Nigerians, provoke Nigeria into a senseless war, to join them and exterminate our people. That is the intelligence we have received. And I will pray the Nigerian press to publish it so that the powers that be should see it and the security forces should take note. Because these people, the variations might change. The form might change, the application might be changed because they because they know that this press release has gone out. But watch out, this is what they will do, and try to stick it on Ambazonians so that the Nigerian security forces and agencies will clamp down on Ambazonians who are peacefully residing in Nigeria. About 125,000 of our people are peacefully protected in Nigeria since 2017.
Has this in any way officially affected the relationship between Nigeria and the Ambazonia? Has this particular move affected the way the Nigerian government or the Nigerian people treat the Ambazonians who are in their territory?
Yes, I'm happy for the way you have crafted the question. There's a difference between the Nigerian people and the ruling class. The Nigerian people are very, very understanding. The people along the Cross River State, the Akwa Ibom, and the Taraba, you have not heard anything that is going wrong emanating from any bad behavior or conduct from our refugees who are there. They have been received in their numbers. Some have even been given land to farm to survive. And they are receiving education. The Nigerian Refugee Commission is helping. The churches are there helping. And we ourselves as the government, we are trying to do our best to help them. So they are at that level between Nigerians and the Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonia, there has been just no problem. It has been a wonderful hospitality that our people have enjoyed. But when it comes to the ruling class, which is the leadership we have in Nigeria today, they have come under severe manipulation from what I see to be a French orchestrated propaganda to bring Nigeria into this war on the side of La République du Cameroon against our legitimate demands and aspirations. So they use the Biafra thing as the boogeyman and say, initially that's what they did. They said, if you don't side with us, we will also side with these people in your country against you. Then it went forward. They also tried to convince them that our aspirations are the same. And I want to make this clear, in as much as I agree that every people have a right to self-determination. Self-determination is not against the law of any country in the world, for any people. But to make any similarity between our case and anything that is happening in Nigeria is unacceptable.
Let me ask you in clear terms.
Yes.
We've had those allegations.
Yes.
You know that the issue of IPOB is one big issue in Nigeria, and there were allegations that your people and IPOB group, that as a link, in clear terms, is there a relationship between your people and the IPOB group?
There is a group or one activist who carried out a propaganda stunt, probably to attract some money from IPOB agitators around the world. So that was a social media personality who did that. The people of the Southern Cameroons that we represent as the interim government that gives the orders on the ground, that conducts this liberation quest, have not endorsed any form of alliance in any shape or form with the IPOB, because we cannot afford to antagonize the government and the authorities that have shown so much hospitality to our people. We cannot afford to do anything that will give the impression that the people who are in Nigeria, who have been housed in Nigeria, helped in Nigeria, constitute any form of threat against the security of Nigeria. So that's a position we have not taken, we are not taking, and we will not take. So with that should be very, very clear. It is not the same as saying that we condemn, we are against self-determination. These are tendencies that are found in every country in the world, as I said last time. Every country has an issue of here and there, an issue or tendency of self-determination, of certain people who feel marginalized. Our case is not marginalization. Our case is one of a Bosch decolonization process, a case of fraud and deceit, where another nation has annexed us. We are an independent country. That's why it's not correct for anybody to describe us as self-proclaimed. We are proclaimed by the United Nations. The same resolution, the same General Assembly that granted Nigeria independence, granted us independence. granted Cameroon independence. But what is happening is that it's the failed union of two states of equal status that is the issue. And we have restored our independence, our separateness, and we have restored it, and we are now being killed like game. We are now being slaughtered because the idea now for the occupation forces and for the annexationists is to conquer us in this process and completely forget about us as a country. Let Nigeria search in her conscience and ask the question: where is that federation of two equal states that we voted for? What went wrong? You cannot compare our case with anything happening anywhere right now in Africa.
Okay, but I'm not sure if this question is particularly for you, but interesting to also know what the feeling was at the time. At the time when you were supposed to merge with the French speaking, when you have opportunity of merging with another English speaking, what were the constitution? Was it about the Cameroon and the Cameroon, Southern Cameroon and the Cameroon? Was that the connection? That is one. Secondly, is there is there a link between the Southern Cameroon and the Republic of Cameroon? Is there a link that's so strong that led to the decision to move to opt for Cameroon as against English-speaking territory like Nigeria at the time? I know you are. This is not maybe not for you, but you would have had some that to find out what really led to that move.
Yes, Mr. Chooks, I was schooled. I had most of my education in Nigeria. So, and in the East, I schooled in the University of Calabar. I have so many friends. And Nigeria is my second home. So, you and I today, we are in another generation. But when we go back to that generation, where that choice was made, you will discover that there were two things that caused the shift of that boat to the side of the French Cameroon. Not because they were the best in administration, not because there was any nostalgia, as some people want to say that we wanted to join our brothers. No. We had been as governed separately by under different colonial administrators or trust administrators for 40 years. So that was a long enough time. It was a generation past. So that was not it was not a matter of nostalgia that took us there. There were two events that our people tell us that the way the early settlers from Nigeria in Ambazonia treated Ambazonia in commerce and in other interactions, people were not happy. That's it. The early experience of that, the people of that generation was not good. There were reported cases of duping the people and taking away what belongs to them, stealing from them, and the people felt like, no, this is a bad case. And then number two, our delegates at the Eastern House of Assembly had a very rough experience because they were sitting at Enugu. In 1953, they were even stoned. I don't know what happened. I don't know the details of what happened, but they were stoned. And the leader at that time, EML Endel, he caused his delegation to walk out with him and pick those stones and brought them back home and showed it to the people and said, this is what happened. And they went to Britain, to the Queen, to make their case that they are not going to be governed together with Nigeria again, that they want to establish their own government. So those memories were very fresh. That was just about 7 years before the plebiscite. So people started campaigning and maybe making hills out of more hills and mountains out of more hills, and saying a lot of things which people said, yeah, that's the case. If that's the case, if we go that way, we're going to be treated, maltreated, tormented. Let us try what we have not tried. So they decided to go the way of the French, because there was no immediate story they can associate with where they were tormented. And they thought that it would be a good feeling to go that way and have a new experiment. So that is one thing that helped to tilt the scale on that side. And our people were too patient and foolish at the point. It's good to be patient. There is a point where patience becomes foolishness. When you are patient and you are going down, you are drowning, you get to a point where you know that if my head is covered now, I will die. So you have to do something. They tried, as you also say, they tried. A few of them tried, and some of them were killed. Some of them were forced to exile. Some of them were bribed and given positions. A few that tried to fight it against the wind, because the international community that's supposed to come to their rescue and say this is not how it was designed to be, they were nowhere to be found. It became an international conspiracy against the people in favor of La République du Cameroon. That's the unfortunate trajectory that got us here. I don't also think that joining Nigeria would have been the best thing. I still believe that we had every right to be given the third option, which was independent. Today, we are larger than about 30 countries that are members of the United Nations. We are larger in size, we are larger in population, we are larger than Switzerland in size. We are larger than Israel in size. We are larger than many countries in the world. So the idea, the nonsense that we're too small a country, it was just a pretext, because they wanted us to go they wanted us to fit into their mold at that time, which was the Cold War considerations.
You actually painted a gloomy picture of how life is for the Ambazonians who are fighting for their country and how they've been killed. Do you feel safe? You've been vocal, you've been speaking. Do you really feel safe?
Well, one thing you know today, and with the world should know today, is that every Southern Cameroonian is no more afraid of death, because every day we just survive. We just survive. Yes, today I'm here, tomorrow maybe I will be no more, but I don't care. Because if you don't give me a reason to live, why am I afraid to die? Yeah, you have to give me a reason to live for, so that I will have an option to either live for that instead of dying. They have taken away everything we are, everything we have. And so if we stop fighting, we will live for what? They've raped us all. Everything is gone. So that is why we don't feel safe. I cannot feel safe when my people back home are not feeling safe. 500 of our villages have been burned down by this monstrous regime of Yamle. 500. Instead of the international community to even establish a fact-finding mission, instead of the United Nations to establish a fact-finding mission, they just stay there and receive some armchair figures that are given to them. These are our people. These are our villages we grew up in. And we know that 500 of our villages have been burned. Even aerial pictures and videos can prove this. Whole villages have disappeared. That's why 1.5 million of our people plus are internally displaced. So our nation is now it's a complete desolation. I cannot go back to my village where I grew up and meet life again. Life has vanished. Houses burned. People have run to the bushes and bushes and grass have taken over villages. And La Republic of Cameroon is doing this, and the world is silent. And our neighbor, Nigeria, that is the voice of the black race, that should really stand up and say no. Let the ICJ look into this matter. Let the United Nations look into this matter. If you have the power to establish it, you have the power to resolve the problems that arise from it. But now they are instead trying to join La Republique to further crush us as a people. What is illegitimate in our demand? Were we not two nations? Did we not try to join? How has the joining been? Where is our federation that was contemplated by the United Nations? And even in that state, how have we been treated? What have we done to merit 30-something of our people, thousands to be killed? If we join by political action, why can we not separate by political action? Why should we be killed? We need people who can, with a sense of justice, leaders in Africa who can look into this matter. Southern Cameroon does not deserve to be annihilated by French Cameroon because of a political choice we made that went bad.
Maybe on a final, how much you asked before what you wanted Nigeria to do, but I think in your last this last statement you actually itemized what of Nigeria, and that will be properly communicated. But I want to know how much and how far would you take this particular structure? How far do you go with it?
Yes. If somebody was drowning, how far is that person willing to swim? How far will he want to try to stay alive? I think he will keep on trying until he dies. That's it. There is anyone that is thinking that somehow there will be a point we will give up. Giving up means to drown. Because these people started killing us when we were not fighting. In 2017, we had, and there was we came out to the streets, and we carried peace plans. And on the 22nd of September 2017, we in our thousands, if not millions, and the colonial regime of French Cameroon sent helicopter gunships and killed us like game. Hundreds of our people were slaughtered. The next day, the electricity corporation caused a blackout because they needed to transport corpses to mass graves somewhere to be buried, so that they will hide that from the international community. And shortly after, they shut the internet so that nothing will be reported for 3 months. Now, they have continued with the slaughter. When the exact numbers shall be determined at the end of this war, we shall be shocked that another Rwanda took place just next door. Because, so you ask me, how far are we willing to go with this? To the last man standing. Because we have nothing to live for if we stop fighting.
Okay,
we have lost, they have taken away everything until the last man standing. I believe that the good people of this world are only silent. That there will be a time when their consciences will be pricked and they will rise up to do the right thing. We will not stop until the good people do the right thing.
I'm asking this question because no matter what the issues are, try to engage the Cameroonian government. Has there been efforts to have a seat at the table and have a conversation over all these issues that you guys raised?
Okay. This is our. There's noise coming. You can mute from your side so that it will not disturb. Yes, you can mute until you want to talk because there's noise coming from the background.
Okay.
Yeah, we have tried from 2017. I mean, let's go back to 1961 throughout, because it was a systematic decline. At every stage, we try to have a dialogue. Their response is force, because we are not considered equals again at the beginning of this, from the beginning of this experiment. They have rejected every attempt to have a genuine dialogue, has been rejected forcefully. So our activists were all banished, killed, imprisoned, and named and completely forced to disappear. In 2017, when we came out, we didn't start by just saying we want to go our separate way, we want to restore our independence. No. The teachers, the civil society gathered together, created a consortium of civil society organizations throughout the southern Cameroon. And all we wanted to do was to have that genuine dialogue with the French Cameroon and tell them, this is not what we bargained for. This is not right. Because you are the one who seem to have seceded from this union. We created a federation of two states of equal status. You demolished it and reverted to your name, and you maintain your authority over us. That's annexation. They forced French teachers to teach our children. They sent French francophone lawyers into our courts. And for them, the assimilation was full circle. So our civil society presented legitimate grievances. And they said, we believe that these things will only have a permanent solution under a federal arrangement. The French Cameroon said, for them to have pronounced the word federation is a taboo. They moved to arrest all the leaders and imprison them, and in their kangaroo court, and trumped up all charges. They said there's treason and nonsense. How can it be treason? So we tried to have a dialogue then. They refused, and they opted for the military option. That's why we are fighting. Our people are only trying to defend themselves because, as you can see, if we are two parties, equal parties, we have a problem. And you don't want us to dialogue. And you are using force against me. It means your intention is my annihilation. You want to conquer me instead of negotiating with me. So that is how we decided that if we don't do anything, this has now become an existential fight. If we don't do anything, these people are minded to exterminate us and take our country by force. So that is how this happened. So we have tried our best. Right now, in 2019, the international community in Switzerland came together and put together a process for a peaceful resolution of this conflict, where the two sides should come and meet so that we can look at the root causes of this problem, so that we can negotiate and part our different ways. That process is endorsed by the United States, endorsed by the United Nations, endorsed by the AU, endorsed by EU, endorsed by Britain. But you know what? The French have refused to endorse it. And La Republique is not coming to the table. Why? Because they think they have the power to conquer us militarily. Why should they talk to us? After all, they have annexed us for good. So we have exploited all these avenues to bring La Republique to the table, to have the dialogue we have not been able to have for 60 years. That they are doubling down on the military option. So we don't know what to do right now. We only have to fight until another country will add its voice, especially in Africa, should add its voice to what the international community is trying to do right now, which is the right thing. And La Republique has to come to that table, have that dialogue they don't want to have with us. For that's the best way to solve this problem. But if they don't, then we are ready to fight and fight until we are no more. You can unmute now.
Okay, Nigerian government. Have you tried seek for an engagement with the government over something? Is there official government of Nigeria?
Right now we are communicating through unofficial channels because of what happened in 2017 and 2018, when, with the complicity of Nigeria, 10 of our leaders were abducted and were extraordinarily renditioned to Yaoundé, where, thank God, they were not killed, and they have been unfortunately have been granted, have been given life sentences. These were people who were not breaking the law in Nigeria. These were professors of university, professionals who were refugees and who were asylees, some of them in the process of applying for asylum. Nigeria, manipulated by the French, the Nigerian ruling class, manipulated by the French, they captured these leaders and extradited them to Cameroon without an extradition treaty. You see what is wrong with Africa? We are not saying that you cannot be arrested in a foreign country. If you are arrested in a foreign country, it should be because of the law you have broken in that country. If it is because of the law you deem to have been broken, which have been broken in another country or your country of origin, a due process should be followed of extradition, if there is any treaty as such. And that process will make sure that there is a rule. The rule of law is not sacrificed, so that everybody has his chance at law. To make sure the court should make that determination whether this person should be extradited or not. That was not done, and so that made it a very precarious situation for us as the leader now. Do you think I can just go ahead and just seek audience with the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and just come? It's not easy, because if they thought of us in that manner and even arrested our people who was under protection by the United Nations, as protected people, if they could take them and just don't extradite them to be killed, what would they do to me or to us if we try to come close to the Nigerian people? We want to be understood by the Nigerian leadership to say that what is happening to us is unfortunate. We did not ask for this. We have not done anything to deserve this. And we need the voice of reason to help so that we can prevail in this. We don't deserve to be killed. And so that relationship has been severely damaged. But we are trying to use informal channels to reopen our communication. And that's why we also think that the media and civil society can help us bring this understanding. And that if the Nigerian government is open to us and to have a physical meeting, we can decide on where and how. I think we can start from somewhere. We want to see a political will on their side, not one that is holding meetings with La Republique, claiming that they will ensure that Nigeria is not used as a safe haven by anybody to destabilize a neighboring country. That, first of all, is not happening. Listen to me. The Ambazonian restoration forces are fighting occupation forces. And when you are fighting occupation, you fight occupation where occupation is taking place. We cannot fall into Nigeria to fight occupation. Nigeria is not part of our territory. We are fighting occupation. We are resisting the enemy where he is coming against us. So we have never. This is just imaginary. The French and the Secret Service have just created this boogeyman and saying somebody is trying to use your country. No. Even if you find a fighter who had been fighting with Ambazonia, resisting the enemy, if you find one in Nigeria, they are there for protection because they don't have the tools. They cannot resist with empty hands. And some of them might decide to fall back into Nigeria. And where that happens, they are not in Nigeria to destabilize Nigeria. No, they are in Nigeria for protection. And they have the right to be protected. Until they break a law, the law of that country, they have the right to be protected by that country, by Nigeria.
Okay, maybe last if you meet Buhari of Nigeria today, directly.
Excuse me. Ask me the question again. I'm sorry. The phone. I didn't know it was on the ringing mode.
So the question is, if you meet President Buhari today, in one sentence, what would be your request?
I would tell him, I will first of all appreciate him for what Nigeria has done that is good for our people. For me, whatever bad they have done, for 100 and something thousand people to be residing in Nigeria, benefiting from the benevolence of Nigerians and enjoying the safety and tranquility that majority of them do enjoy, I will appreciate him for that. But I will not forget to tell him our disappointment with the way our 10 leaders were abducted, who were not breaking any law in Nigeria. And they were extradited to Cameroon and inform him of the fate that they have suffered and they are suffering because of that action. I will also remind him that our case is different. Nobody should tell him anything less. Our case of Southern Cameroons is different. And if we succeed in our quest, there is no threat to Nigeria. There will be no threat to Nigeria because we were already independent. We were not a threat to Nigeria. When we were governing ourselves, we were not a threat to Nigeria. And if we have restored our independence and they can add their voice to it, we are going to be good neighbors for the rest of our life. That is the assurance I will give him. And the Nigerian Secret Service can do everything to get from the people of Ambazonia, not from social media fabrications and propaganda churned by the French Cameroon Secret Service, but from the people of Ambazonia. Nigeria has a consulate in our country, which was supposed to be their embassy in Southern Cameroon. They have more than 400,000 Nigerians still in Ambazonia today, despite the war. They can get more information than what Atanganji, the criminal from the criminal colonial minister from Yaoundé, or the system, the Yaoundé junta can tell them. So they can know that we are the best neighbors Nigeria has. One of the best Nigeria has. And we are people who respect the law. You're muted.
Thank you for your time.